Hello and welcome to the Pleasurepreneur podcast. This podcast will help you create what you desire in your business with pleasure. Whether that be calling in your ideal clients, making more money, or creating a balanced business life blend. I'm your host, Regan Fig, pleasure and business coach, published author of A Mother's Pleasure, wife and mama to 3 little wildlings. However you're choosing to listen to this podcast, ask yourself, how can I make this more pleasurable? And do just that. I acknowledge the custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded and produced, the Wadi Wadi people of Dharawal land. Now, let's proceed with pleasure. Thank you for joining me in one of the last episodes of the year. This year has been so amazing. I'm going to do a wrap-up episode by the end of the year. So I won't, dive into too much end of year stuff and reflecting on this year yet. You'll have a whole dedicated episode to tune into. But for now, I'm going to share this one with you. This is an episode that is an Instagram live training that I have recorded for you. There's many gems in it. Ultimately, we are working out how we move from a people-pleasing employee mindset into the empowered, embodied leader that our business and our clients desire us to be in order for you to have your clients stream in as a stream and not just a trickle. I remember that period in my business where I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I do know how to call in clients, but I'm still feeling like it's a little bit of a fluke here and there. And once I really allowed myself to almost like de-employee myself out of my business and stand into the leader that my business and my clients were calling me into, that's when things changed dramatically in terms of calling in clients. And so that is all the gold I'm sharing for you in this episode. I hope you enjoy it. If it is something that you are loving and you want to get more of it and you want to have my eyes on your business and coaching you for next year, go down into the show notes and take a look at the mastermind. Doors are closing for the year this Friday. So take a look. Now, sit back, relax, whatever it is you're doing, make sure it is pleasurable and enjoy the episode. Now let's proceed with pleasure. Hello, welcome to today's live training. It is all about how to have your client signups go from a trickle to a stream by embodying your leader self that your business and your clients are calling you to be. My name is Regan. I help women in business create multiple 4-figure months in their business with pleasure, because why would you want to do it any other way? I'm so glad to have you here. If you are catching the replay, make sure you are making this pleasurable for yourself. Like, pause it here, and if you need to get yourself a drink or get into a more cozy chair or get into the sunshine or out of the sunshine, do whatever you need to do to make this more pleasurable for you. When you make it more pleasurable, you're more motivated and you have a much better focus. Just a hot tip straight off the bat. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is how to know if you are still in an employee people-pleasing mindset instead of in the embodied, empowered leader that your business and your clients are calling you to be. Yeah, so we're going to look at some identifiers as to how you'll know if you are not embodying the leader in your business that you need to be in order to have your clients flow in like a stream and not a trickle. Then we're going to explore why is it actually a problem? Why is it a problem to be running a business with an employee mindset? Why is it a problem to be the leader in your business, but to still be people pleasing? And then we're going to finish up with how you can actually call in more clients simply by embodying that empowered leader that's in you, that's already there. It's already within you. You don't have to go and become a whole new person. You don't have to stop caring about your clients and being accommodating. You are simply going to learn a bunch of things that's going to help you really allow yourself to step into that leadership role that you need to be in order to navigate your business and in order to call in more clients. Yeah. So let's start. I've got a number of notes here. These are just some of the things that I thought of off the top of my head when I thought about like what it looks like to still be in that employee mindset versus being the leader. Now, just to clarify, there is nothing wrong with being an employee or having an employee mindset. In fact, a number of my clients are working in jobs and also building their businesses. There are a number of people out there in the world who want to be an employee and don't want to have a business. One is no better than the other. What we want to focus on is what is right and true and good and aligned and authentic for you. Yeah. So chances are, if you're watching this, you probably have a business and you're curious because you want to call in more clients. And perhaps you're aware of the conditioning and let's just put it as that at that. Like you're aware of like the conditioning that you have been exposed to that has led you to become a very good employee, which is great if you're working for an organization, not so great if you want to make money, call in clients and lead your business and grow your business. Okay. So here are some indicators that tell you that you are operating from this employee mindset, that you are people pleasing, and therefore that you are not stepping into that leader role yet. I can help you. So, number one, this is the first thing that came to my mind because as soon as I think people pleasing, as soon as I think like employee, I'm thinking boundaries. Yeah. And so often as employees, we can be so eager to please, right? Because, we want to serve our organization. And this isn't to say that you're not trying to please your clients, right? But you'll know that you're really in this employee mindset. You're really in this people-pleasing experience if your boundaries are being crossed in your business. Yeah? Chances are you're crossing many of your own boundaries in your business. And therefore, you're probably also letting your clients cross your boundaries in your business. And so what that looks like, well, maybe have a think for yourself. Think for yourself, like, where have I maybe felt like frustrated or like had kind of like deflated a little bit and let somebody else decide for me, let somebody else cross those boundaries and just kind of like brush it under the rug. Yeah, so I'm talking about, for example, in the mastermind, the next round of the mastermind is currently open and we're going to have 3 days a week in Voxer for coaching. And so those 3 days, the mastermind pleasurepreneurs inside can jump in any time of the day, numerous times a day, and I'm in there to coach them throughout that day. So you have 3 full days of coaching with me, plus a weekly coaching call. And so it's so easy for me. I love my work. I love my clients. I love seeing when I've got notifications on and there's people jumping into my Voxer. I'm like, immediately want to help. However, I have set the boundary of 3 days a week for myself and for my clients. And when I get like flimsy on those boundaries, I am not being of best service to myself, my business, or my clients. So for me, I have to ensure that I'm not people pleasing and I'm not jumping in whenever there's a notification on those 4 days, the weekend and 2 days during the week when I am not in Voxer. And so that's something that I need to be holding for myself. As a leader, we're able to set and hold our own boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable, even when we think, oh, well, I totally could just answer this question, or you know what I mean? Like, You've set boundaries for a reason. And side note, you know where your boundaries lie because your body tells you. Your body is the thing that tells you where your boundaries lie. So when you learn to open to and experience more pleasure, you're actually learning to connect with your body more, and you're even better at working out where your boundaries lie. It is so easy for me if I'm putting together, like an offering, or if I'm considering like client guidelines or Voxer guidelines. It's so easy for me to tune in now, not a few years ago. It's so easy for me to tune in and know where those boundaries are for me. And what happens when you are setting those boundaries, especially if you're a coach and a mentor and you're in a mentoring relationship with a client, they are looking to you to set those boundaries. You are the person that creates the container. And I'll explain how that all works and why this is important after we talk about these indicators. All right. I spoke about decisions before, and this is another indicator that you are embodying the employee and the people pleaser versus the leader in your business that you need to be, that your business wants you to be, that your clients desire you to be. You are prioritizing other people's decisions and passing responsibility onto other people to make decisions in your business for you. Yeah, so instead of you doing it, you're passing it on to them. Now, this looks like, I'll think back to my early days when I was coaching mums about experiencing more pleasure. And I think I spoke about this on a live recently. And I offered like evening coaching sessions. And the thing is, I made that decision because I thought that's what my clients wanted. Same when we're like creating a program. Oh, well, I'm going to offer an hour of Zoom coaching calls each week because I think that that's what they want. Or maybe someone's told you like, oh, on a certain day. So you're going to put a whole, like organize your whole life around someone's certain day that they want you to run a training or something. Yeah. Like when you are prioritizing other people's desires and wants above your own in your business, when you're making decisions in your business, that's when you know you are not stepping into that empowered, embodied leader that you can be in your business. And again, like I said earlier, you also get to be accommodating if you so wish. All right, so third one. Okay, obligation. Okay, if you are doing things out of obligation, if you are doing things that feel like a should, if you're doing things that you don't want to be doing in your business, that tells me you're still operating from this employee mindset. Yeah, I still notice this myself sometimes. And yeah, so often we can be doing things that out of obligation that don't feel good for us. We can be doing things that feel like a should. So that might look like, if I think to one of my last free experiences, normally I would run a multi-day masterclass and have like Voxer as well, coaching happening for like, say, that week. And I started to sell it like that. And then I was like, oh, something felt, I could feel some resistance. I didn't feel that excitement and that spark that I normally do. And so I tuned in and I was like, what's happening there? Because I could notice that like obligation of like, well, I should do it like that. Or I should, that's how I normally do it. Like, and I was like, no, I don't feel like that right now. I don't know if it's because of the season or because of where we are in the year or like, who knows why. But I was like, I just want to do something a little bit more fun and not be sitting in front of a screen for an hour each day for 5 days a week or something. And so I tuned in with like, well, what do I want? And what I wanted was to have, I think it ended up being about 10 days or so of bite-sized trainings inside Telegram. So each day I dropped a training and then I also dropped a piece of homework for everyone that was in that group. And it was so fun. It meant that I had the flexibility to live my life and jump in at any time of the day that I wanted. It meant that I also had close contact with those in the group because they were also inside Telegram. So it meant I could coach them whenever felt good and right and true for me. And they could jump in at any time that felt good and right and true for them. Yeah. So what ends up happening is as you start to more so step into that leader and start making decisions based on desire, start making decisions based on like what you want rather than what you think you should offer or what feels like obligation, what happens then is you start to collect the evidence that other people benefit and other people want that too. Yeah, the more evidence you start to collect when you are in that embodied leader role that your business and your clients want you to be in, the more you step into that and the more you create results from that please you, the more evidence you're collecting that like you can do that and that it works. Yeah, and that it's required. And I'll get to telling you why it's required once we've touched on a couple more of these indicators. So another thing is that you're trying to force an incremental growth path instead of an exponential growth path. So an incremental growth path is like, that, I don't know if you're getting the mirror image of me or not. Incremental, like it's a steady slope, right? It's kind of like that 45-degree angle. Exponential on the graph looks like this. It kind of tracks along quite slowly. It starts to curl. It takes a while before it starts to kick up, and then, oh, I'm going off the screen, and then it swings up, right? This is the exponential growth path, yeah? And so, or the other way, if I'm on like flipped reverse. So if you are an employee, if you do not desire to grow a business, if you've been brought up in a society like most of us have, where you go to school, then you go to high school, then maybe you get a degree, or you get then a good job after that, and then you're at this position for a while, and then you get a pay rise, and then it becomes like this incremental growth, right? Slow, consistent, great. Some of us, that is the growth path for us. Chances are, if you are here, if you are a pleasurepreneur, you are chartering an exponential growth path. And again, as I was talking about before, one is no better than the other. What is best is what is right for you. So I am going to assume that you are on an exponential growth path. Now, where we have some friction, some frustration, some annoyance, some feeling like, oh, it's not working, is oftentimes I see this at that kind of starting few years in your business, kind of like starting out point, where we're expecting this incremental growth, not realizing we're on an exponential growth path. And so whilst we are expecting this steady incremental trending up, we might not see it. It might take some time before that kicks up, before those results kick in. Yeah. And so if you are in the mindset of an incremental growth path, what's going to happen is you're going to be expecting incremental growth, but you're actually going to be getting exponential growth. And if you're on that kind of flat line at the beginning, that before it super slowly starts to curl, if you're there and you're expecting to be here, yeah, as I said before, that's going to cause you some suffering. So know that you are on an exponential growth path, which is so exciting, because at one point we've got this incremental path, then we've got I should have drawn a diagram. That's a funny fact about me. I love the really povo graphics and diagrams that are on toothpaste packages and shampoo. I'm they're not scientific whatsoever, but I love them. So I should have drawn you a graph. Ultimately, there will be a point where the incremental and the exponential meet, and that is the sweet spot. That is the spot where you start having clients sign up like a stream and not a trickle. Yeah. And how we help ourselves to swing up on that exponential growth path is by becoming the leaders that we need to be in our businesses, in stop people pleasing, in stop doing things out of obligation, out of what we think we should be doing. You have your business for a reason. Your business is calling you into being a leader. Yeah? Call it a leader, call it a CEO, call it a boss, whatever it is that feels good for you. And yeah, know that in order to have that inflection, in order to experience that amplification of client signups in terms of having clients sign up as well as making money, increasing your fulfillment and satisfaction, servicing more people, creating bigger impact, helping more people. In order to do that, you need to step into being a leader. All right, what else? Yeah, you're trying to do everything yourself instead of doing some delegating. So I see this I see this particularly in the early stages of business, where there is this thought of I have to do it all myself first. Number one, because then it's I have to that makes me feel like I'm earning whatever results that I create, which as an employee, that's kind of the thing. You have to earn your salary. You have to earn your pay rises, that kind of thing. So chances are you might not be prepared to delegate anything yet. You might not have the resources to delegate yet, but chances are if you're in that business leadership model, in that leadership role, you are going to be more likely to take those risks, to take risks, to be innovative, to do things differently, to jump before the net appears, versus slowly trying to do everything yourself and therefore using a lot of like all of your resources, your time, your energy, your money, all of that is going into you doing that. And when I'm saying money, like you're maybe not paying yourself, but it is the cost of like lost income opportunity, because you're spending time doing whatever it is in your business that's not your genius, that somebody else could be doing at like a quarter of the time. What's happening there is you're actually, you are, I don't want to put it like this. I want to say like it is costing you, you know? And to be fair, and again, like if you are at the start of your business and you don't have any cash flow happening yet, sometimes like I had to get really resourceful when I sought out mentors and coaches. There's so much that you can be doing in terms of upskilling. But when I had a VA who helped me out for my audiobook, my book launch party. There was also like a big prize pack giveaway in there as well. I was getting someone to look after that stuff because that's not my genius zone. I get someone to look after my podcast because that's not my genius zone. Yeah. So consider, how can you delegate some of what you're not really efficient at or good at, or what you don't enjoy? How can you delegate some of that so that it opens up time and energy for you to make more money and call in more clients? Yeah. I think we might do one more. Yeah, I think this speaks to like the people pleasing part of like, for example, hesitating when someone wants to know your price, because you're kind of like checking that it's okay with them. If you find yourself, instead of saying statements like it's $4,500 to join the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind, if you're saying it with a inflection at the end, so that was just me stating the price and the investment of the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind, versus it's $4,500 to join the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind. You know, that's me, like you can hear that inflection there. If you notice you're doing that around your price, around asking if someone wants to work with you, around inviting someone to come and have a conversation with you about whether you can help them or not, about whether you're the right people to work together or not. If you're noticing you're like asking, you're questioning, you're having that inflection, chances are you're people pleasing. You're checking to see if it's okay with them. The work that needs to be done is you backing yourself in order to know that it's okay with you. Your price, your offerings, who you want to work with, all of these pieces of your business, the way you want to work, your timing, your scheduling, like the duration of your client calls, how you have your client calls. All my client calls are, apart from the mastermind, are over the phone. So my clients and I can sit in the sun and drink coffee. We don't have to worry about like getting online or anything like that. And it's just so relaxed and wonderful. Now, I had to be the one that went first in that. I had to be the one that said, hey, I gave people the option. I told them I prefer over the phone, and great, that's how we do it, you know? So remember that you set the price, you set the tone, you are the leader. Notice if you are having an inflection on the end there, if you're questioning, if you're hesitating and just kind of like gauging if that might be right for that person or not. You know, like it's your chance to back yourself. A leader backs themselves. All right, let me know if you have any questions in the comment box. Welcome, welcome. All right, I had another point, but I feel like we've touched on it. All right, so no comments. All right, so what is the problem? Like, why is it a problem to not step into leadership? I'm going to share a story with you. I shared this story with my mailing list as well. So if you're not on my mailing list, leave me a comment below and let me know that you want to get on it. I share so much gold in there. Okay, so a story. Recently, earlier this year, I went on a girls' weekend, and it was a Sunday morning, and I took myself to a yoga class, and I was like so ready to just like relax and take it easy. Actually, this blends really well with that last indicator. But anyway, what a great segue. So basically, I went to this class and lovely yoga teacher. She was warm, she was competent, I'm sure of it. But what she was saying was almost like with every change of posture, she would say, all right, shall we step back now into warrior one? Shall we windmill our arms down? Shall we come into Trikonasana? She kept saying, shall we? Shall we? How about we? And I think I was going to talk to her afterwards, but then I just went and had a coffee with my girlfriends. I guess that what she was trying to do was like ensure it was really obvious that everything was optional and to try and be really nice and welcoming and warm. But what it did was I couldn't relax. I could not get into the flow. I could not switch off. I noticed I was almost like having a stress response. I wasn't having like a panic attack or anything, but like my brain kept being like, make a decision. Like, shall we? Like she kept saying, shall we? Shall we? Shall we do this? Shall we do that? And my brain was like, ugh. Like, I'm a mom of 3 little kids. I'm a business owner. I have to manage a household. I'm on a girls' weekend. I don't want to be making any decisions right now. Like, I want to feel like you've got this. I could do my own yoga class. I used to be a yoga and meditation teacher. I've been practicing for 2 decades. I know what I'm doing. I could have done my own class, but I've come to her for her guidance so I can switch off that part of my brain and she can lead. So I don't have to exhaust myself with like deciding which posture to get into next and like, deciding where am I going to do my practice or making any decisions. Like, I took myself to be supported by someone, to be guided by someone, to be led by someone, and I just could not relax. And the reason why I couldn't relax was because I didn't feel safe. Now, I don't mean this in like a physical sense. I don't mean like she was violent or, where I was like practicing didn't feel safe or anything like that. In fact, it was quite the opposite. She was super lovely, but I didn't feel safe because she wasn't stepping into that leadership role, because she kept asking all of us, like, shall we do this? Shall we do that? And because I didn't feel safe, I couldn't trust her. Yeah, now this is all very subconscious. This is the fun I have in my brain of being like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Why can't I relax? What's happening? And noticing that my brain just kept like, wake up, like fight or flight. Like, what do you need to do now? Because she keeps asking us these questions. So I didn't feel safe to relax, to let go, to let her lead me. I didn't trust her. Now, why this is important for you is because if you can't step into that leader that your business is asking you to be, that your clients want you to be, if you're not stepping into the leader that you need to be in your business in order to help clients, call in clients, make money, grow your business, if you can't step into that leadership role, people aren't going to feel safe with you. And people aren't going to trust you. And if people can't trust you, they're not going to want to hire you. They're not going to want to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars for you to help them if they don't.
I want to
feel
let
safe
you know
with you,
that
if they
doors
don't
to the
trust
next
you,
round
if they
of the
don't think that
Pleasurepreneur
you can
Mastermind
lead them
are now
to the results that they
open.
want to create.
You're listening to this podcast because you know you can have both, the income and the pleasure-filled life you desire, and the mastermind is where that becomes a reality for you. If you've decided 2025 is your year to create multiple 4-figure months in your business whilst being able to enjoy your life, like savoring slow mornings, snuggling your babes in bed, spending quality time with your family, or doing things that you enjoy outside of your business as well as in, you're going to love and totally transform yourself and your business inside the mastermind. It's my 5-month group coaching experience where we apply the key pleasurepreneur principles and strategies that actually move the needle to create multiple 4-figure months so that you save your time, your energy, and your presence for where it counts. The mastermind is where you learn how to grow your income, sign more clients, help more people, and create a life that feels outrageously delicious and pleasure-filled for you. It's also the place where you're celebrated, supported, and witnessed by an intimate group of women who get it. I'd absolutely love to support you to achieve what you desire next year. You can apply right away by clicking the link in the show notes, or if you're curious and you want to learn more, send me a DM on Instagram and let's have a chat. You can also head to reganfig.com/mastermind or click the link in the show notes. But then I don't get to hear all about you and your business goals and desires for next year, which would be a bummer for me. But you follow what you desire. And if you have any questions, of course, send them my way. We don't begin officially until February, but the sooner you join, the more bonuses you'll get. Because it's an intimate group with only a maximum of 8 women inside, be sure to make yourself known to me sooner rather than later, as spaces are limited.
There's so much more I could say about the mastermind, but for now, let's just dive back into this episode. So, if as I was sharing some of those indicators, you were like, oh yeah, that's me. Oops, yeah, that's me. Totally fine. This is all part of the growth that we are required to go through as women in business, as business people, as entrepreneurs, right? There are so many stepping stones we get to cover and grow from. And so if you were kind of ticking off and like nodding away with those indicators and you're like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I resonate with that. Yeah, I just did that yesterday. Number one, let's normalize that's okay, because we've all had that, employee conditioning. We've not been conditioned to be leaders. We've not been conditioned to do what we want because we want it, especially as women. Yeah. So we've been conditioned. And so it's okay, and it would be unreasonable. I think it's unreasonable to expect anyone to decide they want to have a business and immediately step into that leadership role. If they can, amazing. But chances are there's some things along the way that we need to learn and grow through. So number one, if you're ticking off those indicators, fine, great, no problem at all. Great to know. It would be unreasonable to expect anyone in this society to not have those experiences coming up. But second of all, if you're ticking off those indicators and you're also realizing that it's hard to sign clients and it feels hard to call in clients, and you might get like one client and then you're like, oh yeah, that's exciting, and that's a really long time between client signups, then chances are this is happening as well. So if you're like yes to all those indicators and you also are not signing your clients, if they're not flowing in like a stream, they are only just trickling in, or there's like big gaps between them. I'm getting a phone call. I guarantee it is because you are operating from the people-pleasing employee that perhaps you used to be, instead of the embodied, empowered leader that you need to be. Yeah? When you learn to step into that leadership role, it becomes so much easier to sign clients because your audience can see that you can lead them to where they want to go. They can trust you. They feel safe with you. Yeah? So I want you to just have a bit of an audit, think through some of those things. And if you are like, yeah, I actually do want to sign more clients, I want them to flow in. And I'm also aware that I am doing things based around an employee mindset. I am people pleasing. I'm not stepping into my leadership role. I want you to come and talk to me about the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind. I've signed 3 gorgeous women in there already. You are going to be in such amazing company, and there's only 5 spots left. Yeah, so we're closing doors at the end of next week on Friday, the 20th of December. As I said, it's $4,500 for 5 months in that mastermind. You're also going to get like most of January as an additional month in the Voxer thread, as well as bonus coaching calls. But yeah, like I want you to know that there's really simple things that we can do to help you like embrace the leader that you are meant to become. If you've got the desire to have your own business, to be a coach or a mentor, you also have the desire to be a leader, to lead. And I wonder if you're like, yeah, actually, I do really want that. And maybe it just feels hard, like you don't know where to start. Come and work with me and I will show you some things that I can think of off the top of my head. Let me just check my notes first. I'll see where we are, because we did the indicators. We've talked about why it's a problem. And now we're going to talk about, yes, how we can more so embody this leadership role. Again, if you're catching the replay, or you're here for lives, let me know if you have any questions. I'm a generator in human design, and it means that I really love responding. Like generators like to respond. They like to have something to respond to. This is why I get so excited when I know I've got messages in my client box. I'm like, yes, I get to respond. I get to coach. I get to serve. I get to help. So yeah, please, if you're catching the replay or if you're here for live and you've got questions, bring them to me. Okay. So how do we more so step into the leader that's required in our business in order to call in more clients? First of all, I think I've said this, when like you feel like you've said something a million times, and I bet you're probably like, oh, I don't remember you saying this, Regan. So I'm going to say it again. First of all, you need to know what it is you want, what it is you want to offer, what feels good for you when it comes to your business operations, when it comes to what you're offering, when it comes to who you want to work with, when it comes to what kind of a schedule you want to have, when it comes to the price that you want to charge. You want to ensure that you, number one, know what it is you desire. Number two, that you can own what it is you desire. Now, in that step, okay, so first of all, step one, to know what it is that you desire requires you to tune in with your body and work out like, well, what do I desire? Part of that work is, chances are, look, first of all, I'm going to say you know what you want, but oftentimes you don't know how you're going to get it, or someone's told you it's not possible for you, or you maybe don't think it's possible for you, so you don't admit what you want. That's costing you. One, know what it is you want. If you find it hard to kind of really ascertain exactly what it is that you want, then I would start by working out what it is you don't want. Know what it feels like in your body to not desire something. Know what like disgust feels like in your body. Know what an absolute no is in your body. Yeah. So if you know for sure, like maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something gross to eat. I kind of like all food though. Maybe you're someone who like is grossed out by oysters. Yeah. Maybe that's an absolute no for you. Then I want you to think about eating oysters and feel that in your body, feel where it's coming from. Maybe turn the volume up on it just to notice what it feels like in your body. And then like that's kind of the end here. This is the end of the spectrum. This is an absolute no. And you want to feel what an absolute yes is. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that every single decision you make in your business or in your life has to be an absolute yes. It can just be like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm going to eat some salad for dinner today because it's easy and I just can't really be bothered. So it does the trick. It's a yes, I do want it, but it's not an absolute like, oh my God, I can't wait to eat this lunch, So know what your no is and then start to work out from there what your yes is. Maybe when this comes to coaching and mentoring your clients, maybe you're like me and you did some trial and error and you started offering evening coaching calls and you realize like, nah, that's a no for me. Sometimes you do have to do the trial and error to work out what is a yes and what's a no. Yeah. And that's okay. Like you're not going to get the right answer every time. So number one, know what it is you desire. Also, we've spoken about this in one of my last lives. Highly recommend you go and have a listen, or in the last podcast episode, I think it was, where I spoke about if you know what you want, especially in what you're offering, like make sure every part of that offering is something that you want to offer. Yeah, because like me, trying to sell an offer that I don't desire to actually participate in, like, oh, I realized I'm like, no, I don't want to coach in the evenings anymore. But if I was selling that out of people pleasing, out of obligation, out of thinking like I should, then I'm actually not going to call in clients easily. Number one, because I don't want to sell it. So I'm not going to be motivated to sell it. So if I'm not selling it, I'm not making sales, right? But number two, I'm not stepping into my leadership role. I'm not being the leader who goes first and says, you know what? I don't know if this works with anyone else's timetable who's got little kids at home or whatever, but I want to do 10 a.m. coaching calls and that's what I'm offering. Yeah. And I think part of the reason why we can often float into the people pleasing, like employee mindset is because we then don't have to make the decision for ourselves. We then don't have to honor what it is we desire, because we're scared if it doesn't work. Yeah, at least if we're doing something that somebody else wants us to do, if that doesn't work for us, well, it wasn't our fault. It wasn't what we chose to do or what we desired. So, oh, that was the school. Oh, they'll probably call back, hopefully. Okay. So, number one, know what it is you desire. Number two, you want to own what it is you desire. There is there is so much work to be sorry, I'm just flipping you the bird on my life. Welcome. You are welcome here. Number two, own what it is you desire. That means a lot of time that's where the work is. Us like actually honoring what it is we desire. Hence, like owning it. Own, like, you know what? I see like so many other motherhood coaches offering evening coaching calls, but that's not for me. I'm going to own that I'm going to be running 10 a.m. coaching calls, even though, you know, chances are people have got little kids in the library doing like toddler time. I don't know. Own that you want to do things a certain way. Yeah, there is so much work there's so much work to be unpacked in there that I help and guide my clients through. I'm thinking recently of one of my clients who she wanted to offer for her freebie. She didn't want to offer a PDF or a guide. She didn't want to run like back-to-back masterclasses or whatever. She wanted to have like a chunky kind of container that was basically her coaching container, where she was able to run a weekly workshop, and during that time run a Voxer coaching container as well. So I think I kind of laughed then because I think she ended up doing it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and like I wouldn't recommend that long. And she's worked out too. It feels better for her to do a bit shorter. But she did it differently to what so many other people in her industry are doing it. And so in order for her to own that decision, it was quite simple actually. We just did a little bit of work, but from that, she is able to get excited because she's selling the thing that she wants people to come to because she can't wait to run it. Yeah. So number one, know what it is you desire. Hello, Anna. Nice to see you here. Number two, so know what it is you desire. Number two, own what it is you desire. And number three, claim what it is you desire. Like embrace what it is you desire. So often we can, when we're trying to move from this employee mindset, this people-pleasing way of being into a leader in our business, it can be really easy to create what it is we desire or be close to creating it and not let ourselves have it. Maybe because we think we haven't earned it yet. I'm thinking about, for example, like if I'm talking about price, right? If you know you want to perhaps increase your price to a certain amount, let's say like, I don't know, $10,000. If you know you want your price to be increased to $10,000, then you do the work to own that. Yeah. So maybe you've got some stories to work through. Maybe you've got some hang-ups about like, you know, other people in the industry charging half of that. And, you know, yeah, basically owning what it is that you desire, letting yourself do the work. And I help you with this. And Anna, you can testify to that too. But yeah, owning that that's the price you want to charge. And then claiming it means to actually say it out loud, means to actually be on your next consult call and say, my price is $10,000. And like I said from before, like not the like $10,000, like inflection. Is that all right with you? Are you okay with that? No, you're the leader. You are the one creating the safety, creating the trust. You are the one that goes first. You're the one that leads. And so in order to do that, you need to know, own, and claim what it is that you desire. Yeah? Okay, let me know if you have any questions. And I'm going to share a little bit about the mastermind. All of this work we do in the mastermind. So there is a number of things that are really, really helpful in creating multiple 4-figure months in our business and doing it in a way that feels fucking good and in a way that like really honors our life and what it is we want to get out of our life. Hello, Kelly. And so, yeah, a number of things that we do in the mastermind, the things that I coach you on are completely applicable to whatever is going on in your world, in your business at this particular time. one of those things that's a really strong thread is having my clients stepping into that leadership role, stepping into being the leaders in their business that they are meant to be, that they desire to be, in order to create that sense of safety and trust to help bring in more clients. Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we dive into as well, but ultimately the aim of the game is to have this 5-month focused container with other women who get it, with other women who have the same goals and desires, to create multiple 4-figure months plus in your business. One of my clients just had a 5-figure launch for her first ever launch. But yeah, the aim of the game is to get really good at selling, to create money, to create pleasure in our lives and in our business, and do it in a way that feels really good and right and true and aligned and authentic for us and for our clients. Yeah, I know one of the things that you want to create in your business is greater impact to help more people. Yeah, so the work we do helps you to do that. And I just had something that popped into my head. What was it? I'm excited I've got Anna and Kelly here. No, it was something about relating to leadership. Anyway, that's what I was going to say. Like the mastermind, I was just thinking the other day, I was talking with one of my clients and I was like, when do you ever meet with, say, a girlfriend or a group of friends and you get a whole hour to reflect on what's working for you in your business, talk about your life and your business and what you want to improve on, get like some like guidance and support and like better strategies? When do you ever do that with your clients, with your friends, let alone doing that every single week or a number of days a week in Voxer? This is what the mastermind is. This is about having that group of people where we meet every single week. We support each other. We encourage each other. Yeah. And we see, do you notice what I did there? How I said the yeah? Like that also, how I was talking before about like the inflection about like, hey, yeah, like, are you agreeing with me? If you're doing that all the time, notice that you're not in that leadership. So I'm helping you to see that each week we have this dedicated group where you get to take up space and energy, where you're with a group of women who get it, who understand like the challenges that you're going through, who understand like how exciting it is to have those wins in your business, the big ones and the small ones, to have people to bounce these ideas off, or to even just have a space where you get to share what it is you're moving through or what it is you want to offer, or like trying to make up decisions in your mind. Yeah, you have that space where you get to do all of that. Yeah, I've worked with mentors and coaches for years in my business, and it's so game changing just being able to have someone that is there literally to support you. That's their role, to support you and guide you and help you. And you get to like talk all about what's going on for you. Because I know myself, my husband is super supportive, my friends love me, my family love me, but outside of my coaching relationships, like with my coach and mentors that I've had in the past as well as now, outside of that, my friends might ask like, how's business going? But they don't know the ins and outs. They don't understand like, just as I'm not interested in the ins and outs of my, maybe like a second uncle who loves the footy. I'm not that. I don't want to sit for an hour each week with him and like talk about stats and players and all the rest of it, right? This is your dedicated place to feel supported, celebrated, guided, to create multiple 4-figure months in your business and to do it in a way that feels really good for you, and to ensure that your outside life reflects what you want it to reflect. Yeah, we do it in a way that is pleasure filled. So you not only enjoy what it is that you're offering in your business and enjoy the clients that you're working with and enjoying the money that comes in, you are also enjoying the rest of your life. Because as you step into leadership in your business, you also start to improve on those skills. The skills that you learn in order to be a leader are also skills that you take with you outside of your business. You'll know how to set better boundaries with your kids. You'll know how to not do things out of obligation. You'll know how to have hard conversations. Yeah? We improve our business, we improve our life. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there, and I hope to hear from you. So if you're curious about working with me in the mastermind, I also have an opening for one-on-one working with me. So let me know if you're curious. Just send me a DM and yeah, we can talk about it. I've got some space at the end of this week. So no, not tomorrow. I have some space for next week before doors close to have conversations with you, or we can chat in the DMs just to work out like if the mastermind is right for you. All right, my loves, go ahead and start to know, own, and claim what it is you desire today. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to, like, we're so good at like coming up with all these circumstances that need to like, oh, well, this has to happen first. No, own and claim it. If you have the desire, it's ready for you now. If that desire is multiple 4-figure months in your business with incredible company, feeling better in yourself, more energized, and having more time and space and presence with your family, come and talk to me about the mastermind. All right, my loves. Bye for now. Thanks for joining. All right, my last minute queens. Now is your time to shine. I'm just about to sign off for the year come Friday, the 20th of December. So this Friday, which means the doors to the mastermind are closing for this year come Friday. If you know you want to be inside, or you're just even thinking you want to let yourself have the gift of being inside the mastermind to achieve what it is that you want in your business next year, now is the time to apply and make this your final move for 2024. Have yourself all set up, ready to go come 2025. This is going to be our best year yet. I can feel it and I'm so excited. All right, come and talk to me about the mastermind before we close on Friday, and have the most glorious rest of your year. Bye for now.